Vivek, over to you, please.
Well, Anandji, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with Sportscom. We are truly delighted.
Thank you.
This is a very diverse sporting ecosystem here in front of you, from manufacturers to service providers to intellectual property owners. And we are here to further the cause of sport in India through advocacy at the right levels. I thought I would begin by making a brief introduction about you, Vimal Anand, to the people who have joined in today. If that's okay with you, I'll go ahead.
Yeah, please.
So folks, we're absolutely privileged to have Shri Vimal Anand join us today. He's a 2003 IRS batch officer and serving currently as Director of Sports in the Department of Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of India. He's also holding the very sensitive charge as DG and CEO of the National Anti-Doping Agency, which is commonly known as NADA. 20 years in public service, tax policy, legislation, administration, tax enforcement, and sport policy have been his forte. He has handled flagship events like Khelo India National Sports Development Fund, anti-doping, and international cooperation, amongst other subjects. He has also studied international relations and used to teach in the arts faculty of Delhi University before joining civil service. So Vimal Anand, truly a warm welcome to you. And for this managing committee meeting of Sportscom, I request now to take the floor and share your thoughts with us, and ask the members to directly come in with their questions and their thoughts on various aspects that you have handled. Vimal Anand, over to you.
Thank you so much, Vivekji, and thank you, Sportscom, for giving me the privilege of joining you all and being a part of today's interaction. With Sportscom, I have also been the member secretary of the National Sports Development Fund, NSDF, for more than a year now. And being a part of NSDF, we have initiated a special relationship with Sportscom. In fact, Sportscom expressed its eagerness to be a part of the sports development ecosystem, and they also Sportscom also came forward to offer support in terms of whatever the sports ministry would have wanted from Sportscom to do. So to begin with, we have we sought some kind of manpower support from Sportscom, and we have got 2 consultants from Sportscom in the National Sports Development Fund, and these 2 consultants are doing a very good job, and we hope that they will be able to strengthen the NSDF team and get through the experience they are able to garner more support, especially in terms of the financial support from the corporate sector in the country. We have, to begin with, because I'm now addressing you all, and many of those present here are a part of the sports industry fraternity. Right at the outset, I would also like to thank you, because there are some of you who have been supporting NSDF and the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, but also I'd like to exhort those who are not already a part of the sports ecosystem and the sports support structure in the country to come forward and play an active role by contributing to NSDF and the various programs, the flagship programs of the ministry. Now, today morning, I attended a meeting which was organized by the Export-Import Council regarding the sports industry. It was the sectional committee on the standardization of the sports goods. It lasted for more than an hour, and I wanted because I had to attend another meeting at 12 o'clock. So I wanted them to give me some time to address, but somehow there was a communication gap and I could not address the gathering. So I'll take this opportunity because there are so many representatives from the sports industry. So two things that I would like to flag here. One is because we keep on receiving many proposals and requests from the sports industry regarding the various problems and issues that they have been facing over time, and most of them pertain to either the finance ministry, some concessions from the finance ministry, the revenue side, as well as from the Department of Commerce. Now, we have been trying our best to get the subject of sports goods in the sports ministry, but so far, as the scheme is currently in force, as per the business allocation among the various ministries in the government of India, the subject of sports good is still being dealt by the DPIIT, which is a part of the Ministry of Commerce. Now, though all the proposals are received by them, need action from them only, but they send the proposals to us for our inputs. However, since we have not been as a part of legacy, and traditionally we have not been dealing with sports good in official terms, we lack a kind of a expertise or skill in this sector. So we have been trying hard to get the subject reallocated and transfer it to the sports ministry. In fact, Mr. Dani is already aware of it, and he has also been actively trying to talk to the officers and of the Department of Commerce, but so far it has not happened. So I'd like to request those present here also to use the good offices to get the sports goods sector transferred to the ministry, because even when you go to the Department of Commerce, they are not immediately willing to listen to your problems and help you out, because they say that it is not their domain, since it is sports sector. But for the time being, if any incentive or any solution that needs to be provided to the sports goods sector has to be provided by the DPIIT only. So we are trying our best, and we need the support of the sports goods industry to resolve this issue. But you can always, you're all always welcome to us, to approach us and share your issues with us, and we'll try our best to communicate with the ministries and the departments who would be finally dealing with these subjects. Another thing which is a request, I've been talking to Ms. Kavita Kohli for some time, and it's for the information of all those who are present here. We are currently negotiating a free trade agreement with Australia, and already 4 rounds are over, and I am the lead negotiator from the side of India in the field of sports cooperation. Now, this free trade agreement, unlike any other free trade agreements with other countries, is unique in the sense that for the first time in the history of any free trade agreement, there is a special chapter on sports cooperation. And sports cooperation chapter also deals with sports goods and services and other aspects which would facilitate in promoting trade and commerce in the field of sports goods and services. So a kind of a draft is already at an advanced stage, but still I would like to appeal to all of you here to come up with suggestions if you have any specific issues pertaining to Australia that would like us to include in the free trade agreement. Please share with me, and I will try my best to have it included in the free trade agreement that we are going to sign with Australia in very near future. And the next round of negotiations are starting in the next week, and it is not too late to include anything in the sports cooperation chapter. Besides these issues, I would also like to request the entire sports industry fraternity to it has been our, when we have been interacting generally with representatives from individually from your forum, and when we talk with CII or Vicky, one common issue is that the sports goods industry is not very organized. So my personal as well as on behalf of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, an appeal to all of you would be to make it more organized, so that your voice is heard with some concrete solution. Many times people hear you out, but ultimately the solution doesn't reach you, because maybe there may not be the because of an absence of some kind of common voice, because maybe business wise or particular sector wise you may be heard, but as a sports goods industry or sports industry, it is very important that we all should organize ourselves better. We have sporadic sports industries in the country, some presence in the western UP, some presence in Jalandhar and Punjab side, a small presence in Haryana, and some in South India. So we should try and organize ourselves so that we have everything that is needed to for the growth of the sports industry. And we have market, we have labor, we have capital, we have everything, but somehow we are not able to grow at the pace which should be comparable to the leaders in this sector in the world. So my personal request would be to come up with some kind of a vision in the next few years, so that the sports industry, in line with the Atmanirbhar Bharat approach of the government of India, the sports good industry also should be able to find its place among the top sectors of the country. So with these words, I would like to thank you all once again, and Sportscom particularly, for inviting me and making me a part of today's meeting of Sportscom. I'm indeed thankful to Sportscom for helping us out in real material terms as well as in spirit. You have always been there with the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, and I hope that this partnership keeps growing further. And as a representative of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, I would once again extend my heartfelt congratulations to all of you, and also would like to extend my my hands forward to you, so that we all can come together and work for the growth of the sports industry sector in the country. Thank you so much.
Vimalji, first of all, thank you for your kind words. And yes, at Sportscom, we are ever ready to help. Sports goods and sports manufacturers getting a larger voice. There are a few on this managing committee meeting itself. We will hear from them. But this has been something that our President Jalaj Dani has taken to heart. In fact, he's leading a delegation to Jalandhar on the 8th of August. And consolidating, and there's a lot of work being done on the sports manufacturing side. I think your initiative with Australia for a free trade agreement with a chapter on sports cooperation is a step in the right direction. We have a lot to learn from them. I remember once when Victoria University out of Melbourne had written to us, because we do the largest participatory sporting event in India called the Tata Mumbai Marathon. And they had sent a team from there, including the Professor Hans Westerbeek, to come here and do a study on activity levels in India and how they can make a suggestion to improve the general activity levels in India amongst the common man. So it was a very enriching experience for us. And I think your initiative there in terms of the free trade agreement is something which is absolutely, we all look forward to how we can cooperate and become close. There's a lot of learnings from Australia that we can use here. They're definitely ahead of us when it comes to sports in the entire ecosystem. So appreciate, I would request if there are any members here who would like to ask Vimalji directly something. I'm sure he will do his best to answer our queries, and we can have a good interactive session with Shri Vimalji.
I'll also be joining Mr. Dani for the Jalandhar trip with the
Yes.
Sportscom team. So
Yes.
interaction with the sports industry people.
Yes.
So I look forward to the visit to Jalandhar.
Yes, of course. Yes, I would request any member to directly take it up. Any questions or anything that you'd like to ask Shri Vimalji, or have anything to say on the issues that he has raised about consolidation among the sports manufacturers, about having a larger voice for the sporting industry.
Vivek, with your permission.
Please.
Good evening, Vimalji. Very, very interesting proposition. It's the first time I'm hearing that India, when it's entering into a trade agreement, it is taking sports as a matter of good and services. So it's an excellent initiative to that extent. So, and I think that would actually shows that we are recognizing that sport is a soft power, and we need to use it as a tool both for trade as well as development of international relations between countries. But so just wanted to understand from you, what is it that is getting covered, or largely just the aspects that are likely to get covered in the FTA between India and Australia? Because maybe once we understand maybe a basic on what is getting covered, then maybe we will be able to give better inputs or suggestions.
Sports cooperation, the chapter on sports cooperation includes a vast array of issues pertaining to the overall theme is facilitation of trade, but with the promotion of sports in mind, and how we can promote trade and commerce in sports so as to facilitate the growth of sports in both the countries. Now it covers not only the trade on commerce in sports goods and services, also covers the mobility of persons as well as professionals and anybody related to the sports good industry. It also covers accessibility of markets. It also covers procurement of goods and services. How to create a fertile atmosphere in both the countries for cooperation in the field of trade in sports goods and commerce. Also, it also covers cooperation in the field of infrastructure in sports events, anything pertaining to a business that relates to sports industry, and also in the field of cooperation for imparting training, and in the field of social medicine, social science, medical science, sports medicine, sports science, all these things. So there are separate chapters on usual chapters on tariff and science and technology, and so many other fields where trade and commerce is involved. But sports cooperation so far has not been a part of any free trade agreement with any other country. There have been one or two clauses which refer in general to the cooperation in the field of sports, but as a separate chapter with multiple articles as well as a separate instrument or a mechanism to enforce the chapter. That is something which is very unique with this agreement, with this chapter. We have been having, in fact, with Australia, we had signed when the Australian Prime Minister was here 3-4 months back, when our Honorable Prime Minister and the Prime Minister of Australia, they exchanged 3-4 agreements, and an MOU on sports cooperation was a part. We have already signed an MOU with Australia on sports per se, but as a part of free trade agreement, sports has never found any reference. So this is the first time that we are trying it out with Australia. In fact, it was suggested by Australia, and we grasped it with both hands. I would once again request the members of this forum, if you have any specific suggestions pertaining to the growth of trade and commerce in the field of sports with Australia, I would be more than happy to consider those suggestions and try to make them a part of the agreement.
Thank you, sir.
We are also trying to make a structure for the cooperation between sports educational institutions between the two countries also. So that would involve mobility of students also. These days, I mean, as you all may be aware, getting visas from various countries is very difficult. So once we get into some kind of an agreement as a part of FTA with any country, it becomes imperative on both the governments to give special status or special consideration to the subjects which are covered under the agreement. Coaches, sports. I mean, even if you need to establish some industry or some factory, and you need professionals from Australia, this agreement will smoothen it out. And if there's some special visa requirement and some special treatment for such personnel to come to India, and vice versa, where this agreement will facilitate that.
Also, Vimalji, I'm just coming in. Please, anybody else, just please come in and let's have this as a free-flowing. It's good to have Shri Vimalji with us. So let's have this as a free-flowing interaction. Also, Vimalji, investment. There are many Indian sporting companies in the services sector primarily that are wanting to do a lot with sports and at the confluence of sports and technology, if you are seeing today. I think a certain kind of foreign investment also from Australia into these nascent sectors of sports and sports technology where they meet could accelerate the growth of the services sector of sports in India. I see that as something which will be very palatable to them to invest in companies which are doing cutting edge work when it comes to sporting services with technology as an enabler. And it's something that our ecosystem could benefit from, the inflow of technology and funds specifically from a developed market like Australia.
There's a separate chapter in the FTA on investment in general, but I'm happy to inform you that there's one article in the Sports Cooperation chapter on investment, and there is another article specifically on the transfer of sports technology and cooperation in the field of science and technology in the field of sports. So it's a very comprehensive kind of chapter, and we are trying to touch every field that may be related to the sports ecosystem as well as the sports industry. And our aim is to benefit as much as possible from our relationship with Australia.
I think that would be a great shot in the arm for our Indian sports sector, and especially the the growing sports services sector with technology as an enabler. Yes, please. Anybody else from the members who are attending?
With the permission of the chair, can I?
Please.
Yeah. So, sir, we had sent some documents in which we had outlined the problems, what we face, the challenges ahead with all the sports industry in general, to the Ministry of Sports. I think you will be aware with that document. If anything needs to be added, then we can share the document with you, and that will become the basis of some of the discussion parts when we do that on your visit to Jalandhar, sir. That's what we wanted to say, sir.
I've been interacting with Sportscom and the representatives of Sportscom, and I don't know which document you're talking about, but I have been getting some requests and some representations from on behalf of the sports goods industries. And since,
Okay.
as I have already told you in the beginning, the biggest role that needs to be played for resolving these issues mostly pertain to the DPIIT, because the sports goods sector is still very much under the business location of
Vimalji, can everybody hear Vimalji? Or is it just me, or has Vimalji's?
No, we
No,
cannot.
I think the voice has dropped
Yeah,
off.
yeah, the dropped off.
Vimalji, your voice has dropped. Maybe it's a temporary network connection. Is that?
I think it's completely off.
Yeah, neither can I see Vimalji.
Yeah.
I think he will realize and log back in. We just give him a few minutes, please.
Yeah. I think Kavita ji, in the meantime, I think we can share that document with the.
Vivek, when Vimalji is back.
Okay.
Yeah, Vimalji, we lost you there
Come on,
temporarily.
Mute, Vimalji. You're on mute. Vimalji, you're on mute. Vimalji, you are on mute.
Vimalji, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you well. What I was saying to Neeraj ji was that, having said that, I mean, though despite the subject not being with us officially, but since sports, there's a direct, umbilical relationship between your industry as well and the sports ministry. We are committed to, being a voice for you, and we'll try our best to communicate your issues and your problems with the various ministries from whom you require you need the formal resolution of your demands. At the same time, we would also try to resolve at the level of the ministry also, if anything needs to be done which has a solution in the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. But please rest assured that the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports will always be there with you, and we are trying to find out solutions for the issue of business allocation also, and very soon I am sure, and Mr. Dani also has been working very actively in this regard. I'm very sure that we'll be able to get the subject allocated to our ministry, so that there's because other ministries may not have the understanding or the proper skill set to understand the sports goods industry, but we have that. But the problem is that we are not able to make policies and give resolutions in terms of policy interventions, which only DPIIT is being able to do. So we are trying our best to resolve that issue also, and any letters or any demands that you are going to give to us will reach to the right good offices. That is my assurance.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
Good
Neeraj ji,
evening,
for that.
Chair. May I?
Please, please.
Good evening, sir. This is Prasanna Chaudhary. I'm the Managing Director for Sports Nutrition Company, Nutra Supplements. Uh, as the government is very closely working with Government of Australia and Australian sports institutes, one major issue what Australian sporting community was facing was related to drug abuse and related what India is now facing, or we are number 2 or 3 in doping violation. Under Sportscom, sir, we have been working for creating a drug-free supplement policy for India. We have given the presentations to Sports Ministry as well, and closely working with FSSI to create this policy. As far as Australia is concerned, they have very unique way of working as far as supplements are concerned. In India, we say that most of the organizations are saying no to supplements. What Australian sports department is doing, they are segregating and they are creating the list of supplements which are safe to be used, which are authentically drug-free certified. That exactly what we are trying to bring to India, and the draft has been prepared. So would need your guidance and support to take it forward, because doping is very, very critical as far as sports performance is concerned. Everybody is taking supplements, but they are not aware about what needs to be taken, when and how. So we as a community have developed this structure. Of course, the modification will be required under your able guidance, but we can take it forward under your leadership, sir.
Thank you, Prasanna ji. We have raised a very good point. In fact, this is one issue which has been, though it has been much needed, but somehow in India, we did not take much action in this regard. But lately, you must be reading the newspapers and the news. And since you are also interacting with FSI, I'm very happy to announce and to inform all of you here that, we not only in the National Anti-Doping Agency, but in the entire ministry, we are very much aware of the problem of sports supplements, the nutrition supplements playing a very major role in doping violations. And we have taken some very, very unique and concrete steps in this regard. We have entered into MOUs with the NFSU, National Forensic Sciences University of Ahmedabad in Gujarat, and NIPER in Hyderabad to open 2 testing labs for testing only the nutritional supplements. And both these labs have been funded through the National Sports Development Fund. We have given them enough financial support as seed money to support them for the first few years, so that they can start testing and have some kind of a system in place. And after that, they will be self-sufficient. Now, these laboratories would be testing all the supplements that are available in the Indian market. And in association, it's a tripartite agreement between the ministry, the NFSU, and FSSI. So these will be taking the supplements. The lab will be taking the supplements from the market and testing them for all the prohibited substances that are prohibited by the World Anti-Doping Agency. And then there will be a kind of some kind of a certification on the product, so that any athlete or any user is fully aware that a particular sample of a particular batch of any nutrition supplement is dope-free. So we are also looking forward to it, and I hope that by October we'll start the first batch of testing. In fact, our plan is to test every batch, not one company and product in the market, because we'll be giving certificate batch wise, because you never know, in the next batch there may be some kind of alteration. So we'll be doing this, and it's a very unique initiative. In fact, we have been telling this to the anti-doping fraternity the world over, especially in this region, also in the region of South Asia and the East Asian, the Southeast Asian region, and the West Asian region also. And they all are very, very much eager and willing to cooperate with us, because this is one field where not much work has been done in many parts of the world. There's some leaders in Australia, in America, there's some countries where some work has been done in this regard. But in this region, in general, there has been total lack of awareness, and most of the athletes have been, and many results have been coming positive, because the athletes, many young athletes, and even coaches are not aware that these products actually contain prohibited substances. And some coaches, in fact, despite knowing that these supplements may be containing prohibited substances, they have still been advocating the use among the athletes. So I hope with the testing in place from October or November of this year, we'll be able to plug a big part of the gap that has been existing in this area in the country.
Thank you, sir.
So once we start this testing, we'll be coming it out with publicly. I mean, in fact, I would like to request you in advance. We would like the nutritional supplement industry to come forward and get their products tested by our labs and get them certified.
Yeah, we had actually the interaction with when recently the NADA organized the conference specifically on the supplements part, where FSSI, NADA, and all these two institutes, what you're talking about, were there. And we interacted, and we have shown our keen interest to work with them at the initial stage, because we are pioneer into testing our supplements for last 10 years with the Banned Substance Control Group, California. We know the pros and cons and how difficult the testing of these supplements is. And we as an industry would be more than happy if the similar setup is having in India. And it will definitely support. But at the same time, sir, there's always also a need to create the drug-free supplement policy also parallelly, which we have been aiming for long. And we wish to take it forward along with you.
Yeah, we'll be doing that. In fact, one more information that I would like to share with you. We have developed an application called the Know Your Medicine app, and it is currently available only in Android form. We are developing the iOS protocol also. It is useful for anybody. For everybody.
Yeah, I was there for the launch. I was there for the launch. So,
yes. So
yes,
in that,
very, very useful.
Currently, we are having just a medicine section. Very soon, once the testing starts for nutritional supplements, we'll have a category for nutritional supplements also.
Good.
So that will be very helpful for our sports persons, as well as the recreational sports people also, like those who are into bodybuilding and gymming.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Anybody else would like to ask or share something? Vimalji, on behalf of Sportscom, I would really like to thank you for taking this time.
I think he has disconnected. I can't see him on the screen. Vivek?
Is he dropped out? Is he dropped for some reason?
I think so. He must be logging in
I think
again.
he
I
must have
can't
dropped
see
off
him.
because he was speaking and he was waiting. So I think it's a drop disconnection.
Is he there or is he dropped off, Kavita?
I can't see him on the screen. He's
Acha.
no longer there. In case he joins, then I would let you know. I don't know how come. He was speaking and all of a sudden he has dropped off.
Acha, maybe I think this is the second time. Maybe he has some minor temporary signal issues. No problem. Kavita, we can carry on. And if Vimalji comes back, then we will personally thank him and sign him off.
Right. I'm just waiting a second, otherwise we will go on to the next agenda point in case he's trying to. Can you hear me? We move on to the next agenda point. May I request Rupali, our independent corporate advisor, to take up agenda number 5, please? Rupali? Rupali, can't hear you.
Sir is back, I think. Mr. Anand is back.
Okay. Vivek Vimal is back, please.
Sorry, there was
Vimalji,
some
we were
issue on my
saying,
side. I mean, I got disconnected.
we realized that. I just wanted to say a big thank you from behalf of all of Sportscom for you taking the time to do this, and we will continue to engage with you closely.
Thank you.
So just wanted to say a big thank you on behalf of Sportscom, and I will also personally look you up when I'm in Delhi. It was very, very enriching to hear from you.
Thank you so much. So can I be excused for now?
Yes, of
I have
course.
some other
Of
meetings.
course.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a
Thank you.
privilege, in fact,